People are strange. Something strange.
Is that strange?
That is strange.
That is strange.
Well, that is strange. This is strange.
And welcome back to another episode of Strange Sauna. This is not just any old regular episode, okay? We actually have a really special guest with us, Bryan from Demon Erasers. Welcome, Bryan.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on, guys. I'm excited to talk about strange stuff with y'all.
Heck yeah. We so it's funny because we were talking before the show, and I said that I first encountered Bryan with a video about Obama's birth certificate. And I reshared the video, and I was like, this guy I've never seen anybody break down how the Obama birth certificate is actually fake. Completely just Photoshop layered and all this stuff. Very just hacked, you know. And so I reshared it and then invited you as like a collaborator on Instagram. And then I dived into your stuff, and I was like, whoa, okay, this guy's into the stuff that I'm into, too. So here we go.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw your stuff too, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this guy's awesome." I was like, "Great, conspiracy, right on the edge." You know, looking into all kinds of things that we're not supposed to be, supposedly. You know,
yeah, those locked door conversations that no one can talk about, right? So I've been diving into a bunch of shows that you've been on, the conspiracy shows all over the place. So I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts. I know your story is wild. So I'm willing to go wherever you want to go. But for our audience who doesn't really know you, explain, what is Demon Erasers? How did you get into this? What are you all about?
Yeah, so basically I'm an exorcist. I cast out demons and I help people escape from the occult, which is like I'm right next to LA and Hollywood area, and like there's a lot of people that are involved in like witchcraft and the occult, and they don't recognize that they're involved in it. Like, and it's by the time they get into it, it's like too late. And so like I pray for people, I help people get out of things that are involved where they, you know, same thing with demons. Like people don't think demons are real, but you know, I'll just tell you that they're very real and they talk through people. Demons often refer to themselves as they, them, if that gives you a clue as who might be demonically influenced.
That's a little scary.
It's very terrifying when you start to recognize the pattern.
Wow. What about she, shim? Do they, they don't, okay.
They don't have a gender. Okay. So demons they're genderless. They love to mix things up. They love to pervert stuff, and they subversively get into people's minds and influence them. It's the same way like people get involved in the cult. Like they don't step into like witchcraft thinking that they've sold their soul. Like a lot of people that sell their soul getting into this stuff, like they don't know that that's what they're doing. Like they have no clue. Like it's like a lot of times demons work in this meta space, this space within our dreams, and this is the realm where your spirit lies. Okay? And this is how they influence us in this reality that we're not necessarily akin to recognizing. It's an invisible space. So like, you know, somebody that's a celebrity might, you know, have a dream, or somebody that's becoming famous might have a dream, and an entity might come to them in their dream, say, hey, you know, I'm here to make you famous. All you have to do is agree to this, sell your soul, do this thing. In the dream, they wake up and they're like, oh, that's a weird dream. Right. And then like the next day, someone's like, hey, if you, you know, you want to come over here under the table here and do something for me, you know, sexual or whatever, like I'll sign your thing. And they think it's like, oh, well, this is just everyday life. Mind you, they've had these experiences in their dream that are co-assigning, but they're kind of like, that's not related. And then they get a little bit deeper and and then the things start to, like they're usually piecing together the fact that they're being influenced a lot of times, people that are involved in this kind of stuff. Okay. And by the time they're so heavily in, the demon will then begin to talk to them. And when the demon starts talking to the person, they almost think it's their own thoughts, except for the demon says things like, you need to give me blood or I will take your fame. Dang. And I will take your money and all the stuff that you've been given. And they're like, you know, they start dealing with these thoughts in their head that they're trying to rationalize. Is this my imagination? Right. And then stuff starts happening. They can't tell that it's real. You know, they still think it's part of their own imagination. And so, you know, a lot of people involved in this stuff don't know until it's too late. I mean, and have you seen the video of Kanye West where he talks about sacrificing his mom?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had full shows talking about that. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these people are just like this. These individuals have gotten involved, and it's like, he made that deal with that entity, and he did little things to allow his situation for his mom to die. Now he claimed he didn't kill her, but it doesn't, to demon, it don't matter how you do the person. Like, as long as the person's dead, you have paid the toll that the demon wants. Demons want blood. They want payment. Okay. And all the demons require payment to get control, to create trauma in your mind, to get more control of you. And so, like, the demon for Kanye was kill your mom, allow your mom to die, make the circumstance so that she dies.
Right.
And so he didn't physically kill her. Sure, but he led the circumstances into her dying in that situation. If you look into it, the doctor even comes out that she was having a breast augmentation. She died after a breast augmentation. Like, how ridiculous is that?
Something very benign. And it's almost like he might have been ignoring the signs, right? Like, oh, this Hollywood life, he's getting money. He's given his mom like a new house, maybe a new car. She's going in for a boob job or whatever the heck she's getting. And then,
Well, this is it's duality. It's dualism. It's, it's like, the thing is, a lot of these people that are involved in these stuff, it's like, they think they're like, oh, I've donated $1 million to this orphanage. It's okay if I kill and do some terrible things to a few of them. It's like, I gave the rest of them $1 million. Like, that's their mindset of duality. I mean, like, today, the most people are like, oh, well, I'm a good person. It's okay if I just do a little bit of drugs and just drink a little bit. I mean, but like everything else, I'm a good person. It's duality. It's just expanded when you get to the point where your dollars become a lot bigger in your pocket. The perversion gets more expanded. The giving gets more expanded, but also the wickedness does with it. And that's how duality works. And like, a lot of people believe in that, whether they realize it or not.
And with Hollywood, we're always saying how it's always someone in their family that gets taken out, like the firstborn, either transgendered or their firstborn and stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see, like, they don't see it, or they do see it.
I think they do.
It's just like,
but
they
like
must when they. I don't know.
Well, the humiliation rituals where they have their sons dress up in dresses, or they themselves dress up in dresses, like these basketball players, rap stars. Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's the thing. A lot of it's happening in their imaginative spaces. So they don't even fully realize. It takes a while till they recognize that what they're actually a part of is indeed a lot deeper than they know. And so people a lot of times, like, in their head, they're thinking like, this isn't, this idea popped into my head. I'm going to do this thing. Right. They're like, I don't know. Like there becomes a point at which everybody gets presented the opportunity to join the occult almost. And there is a point at which you will be presented. And that point is when you do figuratively sell your soul. Okay. Now, as you're climbing the ladder of fame and fortune and quality, whatever, there will come a point where if a demon decides so, gets involved in your life, and there will be an opportunity where you're like, I could potentially screw this person over really bad, or sell out really bad, or hurt this other person really bad, and it will give me more power and influence and control. There's a point where a lot of people will come. You guys maybe have even been presented one of these sort of opportunistic pathways in a sense. As you're growing, there's an opportunity that comes to you, and it's like, okay, I could do this thing, and it would definitely be self-compromising. It would be, ethically compromising, morally corrupt or wrong. But if you do that thing, all of a sudden, the stuff that you did will work out. And all of a sudden, the things that you're doing will be beneficial. And you've just screwed over another person, hurt somebody, or compromised yourself. You just sold your soul, and you don't even realize it. And you do not even recognize how this works.
Right. Well, I mean, this sounds awfully similar to Jeffrey Epstein, the blackmail, the Mossad, all of the operations that have happened in government, Hollywood, all over the world. Right?
Yep. See, the thing is, like, a lot of these systems, when you look at them, the conspiratorial stuff that's going all over the place, none of it makes sense. You're like, okay, well, is he a good guy? But then he's a bad guy. Is he like, oh, well, he's doing this over here, but now he's doing this over here. And you're like, he's secretly the bad guy. And you're trying to pinpoint like what is good and bad all over the place. But the reality is a lot more complicated than you realize. They don't know that they're the bad guys. Do you understand? Like, they don't even know, because they don't even know how they're being influenced is directly correlating to the bigger picture half the time. So like they are being influenced by demons. And the only thing that makes sense in a lot of this chaotic jargonal space is when you understand how demons work. When you understand how demons work, you're like, oh my gosh, everything makes perfect sense. I completely see why they did that. I see why they did this. I understand why he's doing that. I understand what his decisions were with this. Bro, all of it just goes click, 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 click. And you're like, it's demons. It's totally demons. So because when you understand that processy, it's the missing puzzle piece, I think, to a lot of conspiratorial things.
So how do you distinguish between relinquishing personal responsibility and they just have a demon? Like, how do you know if someone's being controlled by a demon or if they're just a bad person? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say everybody's got demons, bro. Everybody's got demons influencing them, and they're not. Nobody's just a bad person because they're a bad person. There is demons that are influencing their perspective. You know, I mean, like, think about it this way. Like, there's terrible people that have done terrible things, and the reality is, if you grew up in their shoes, had the same experience, experienced the same traumas that they went through, the same abuse, you might have been just like them.
It's true. Yeah.
Right. And like, and so the thing is, you got to come to that place of humility and realize like, I'm no better than anyone else. And this is what like Jesus talks about, like becoming humble and becoming like love and, understanding this kind of perspective.
Yeah. I was just going to say, one word that can sum up humanity in my perspective, well, in my view, is perspective, because the ability to put yourself in other people's shoes is like, that's how you are compassionate towards others. That's how you're kind of like respectful for them. So, but how did you get into this realm? Like, because I know you had a personal experience, so I don't know if you want to get into that or not, but like, it was super interesting to me hearing about, like what got you into this, because you had no idea about demons or any of this stuff, right? Before you got into it?
Yeah, well, I had a very naive perspective because I studied, I had a black shadow thing appear in my room when I was a child, and that scared me, terrified me, because I was like a very scientifically, I'm a product developer, an engineer, and a designer, and a marketer, and I build things. I'm an inventor, right? So I'm very logical based, but like my mind's always been this way. And so when I saw the thing in my room that was a black shadow thing that appeared, it was terrifying. And it was just like my mind melted trying to be like, how could there be an invisible person that exists in my room? Like, this doesn't make sense. And we didn't grow up religious or anything, but I forced my family into going to church because I just wanted to know what this thing was.
How old were you?
I was 8 when I saw it, about 8. Oh. And then I got my parents to start going to church and stuff when I was probably maybe like 10 or 11 or something. Okay. Because I just was like trying to find answers to seeing this kind of thing. But I just kept doing this and like trying to find it. And the church didn't give me enough good answers that I thought were silly. It was like, why the thing? You're telling me it's a demon. I'm like, that's stupid. It's just looked at me. Like, if it's a demon, you're telling me they're evil. Why didn't it come and try to attack me or eat me or whatever? I'm like, this is dumb. But like, I kept looking and searching, and then I found other texts, biblical texts, like the book of Enoch and stuff that they don't want you to read in church, and started reading this stuff, started looking into these things and figuring stuff out on my own, realized, hey, like there's a whole lot more than what they're telling us. And so I started studying like demonology, sort of studying the occult, but not in the sense of getting involved in it, studying it like it was fairy tales. I studied the Bible like it was like fairy tales. It was interesting to me to try to figure out what the shadow thing was. So I spent my entire life studying Nephilim and Nephilimology and demons and angels and whatever. Like, but again, I didn't think it was real until I started to see the veil of the metaphysical presence that is here now. It's hard to look at somebody that's bipolar and be like, oh, well, you just got a chemical imbalance, blah, blah, blah. No, dude, it's a demon. You have a demon influencing you. It's influencing your mind. And I didn't see it like that. I saw it very scientifically a lot, and then when I had the experience of, it's posted on my channel. People can watch my full testimony. It's somewhere on my YouTube and all over the internet. I don't know. But I saw this stuff, and I was, living a worldly lifestyle. I wasn't like fully like honoring the Lord. I was polyamorous for like 7 years of my life. I never did a drug though. Never drank a drop of alcohol, never smoked a cigarette. Something in me said, don't do that. And I don't know what it was, but never did that. Never even touched it. but I was definitely in the sexual aspect, kind of haywire, I guess. But the, there was a point where my main girlfriend at the time, she started looking into some of the stuff I was looking into. And then all of a sudden she started becoming like bipolar. She started having body spasms. And I'm like, this is not normal. What is going on?
Yeah.
And she was just looking into like the Bible and like the occult stuff that I would like research and the things that I was reading. And it was just like, okay, something's not right. I'm like, I've known you for like 5 years or something. Like this ain't normal. So she ended up starting having like really crazy reactions. And then the Lord, like, dude, whole crazy experience again on my channel. God spoke to me, boom, crazy stuff happened. And a dude showed up at my door and was basically like, the Lord told me to come here. And I was like, what is this weird old man showing up at my door? And I'm like, I'm gonna kick you out of my building. Like, you're kind of freaking me out. I'm like, what do you do? And he goes, I heal people and I teach people how to cast out demons and how to heal people. And he goes, and I'm pretty sure God told me to come here today. Crazy story, because insane. He ends up praying for her. She ends up getting healed of bipolar, not schizophrenia, but bipolar disorder, like mental issues, like trauma, these body spasms, like, bro, like she couldn't sleep at night, gone. Like all these disorders.
After the guy showed up?
After this random dude that I prayed the next day and destroyed a bunch of my stuff, this dude shows up at my door, random guy. I don't even know this guy. And he's just like, God told me to come here to pray for you or whatever. Bro, it's the craziest experience, honestly. Dude prays, and dude, she had motion sickness so bad when we would drive, she'd get sick. She couldn't even look at her phone. Instantly gone. Dude prayed for her, gone. I've never seen anything like that. And I've been to churches kind of going up my whole life, but it was like, again, it was like churchianity. It wasn't real. It was like I've seen those people that would get falled over when they touch them and they do that fake thing where they get back up. And I'm like, it's hypnosis. Yeah, exactly.
That's not real?
No.
Oh, yeah. We're all fooled.
You know how much money I donated to those people?
And so you see all this stuff. And so I'm like, okay, this is all like a bunch of fake things, right? And like I'm seeing it as hypnosis and I'm seeing it as all this stuff. But dude, bro, when this dude shows up at my door, I've seen people, they were like, I've been healed. And then the next week they're back in their wheelchair or whatever. And I'm just like,
it makes you wonder if all that stuff is out there to mask the true healing power of what
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, hey, let's put this fake stuff out there so people think that healing is like obviously fake.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it's like a wall. It's like a wall that people think the stuff that people that do when they cast out demons and do what I do now, like there's these people that are so popular and so much out there that are all fake and they're all manipulators and they're all just brainwashing or hypnotizing people, that it's like this wall that God has up that it makes you be like, well, if you're never going to look through the wall, you'll never find what is true.
Exactly.
Because you just see it and you're like, that's crazy. I'm definitely not going that direction.
And we see it all the time with politics. I mean, you're just a MAGA Trump supporter or you're just a libtard, right? It's like both sides are like, I'm never going to listen to you. It's like, well, you're falling for the trap and you're just going to be stuck,
That's exactly what it is. And like, bro, and I've seen all this fake churchianity stuff, and I was a part of it kind of growing up slightly because I started going to church a bunch, but it was never real. Like this dude, bro, when this guy prayed, I never seen what I've witnessed. Like, bro, I've witnessed the miracle. And now I've witnessed many miracles. I've prayed for people. I put my hands on someone and the bones in their body moved, bro. Like this old woman, we put our hands on her and I could feel the bones in her back going,
oh my gosh.
And she was like, oh, this feels so nice. And she's like, I'm like behind her with my hands on her. Like, what is even happening? Like, I don't even know what's happening. Like, bro, dude. And then she grew like 2 inches in a way, like her back and like, it looks so unnatural to look at this woman for like, I still was so used to her hunched over that after we prayed for her standing up straight looked weird to me. And it was just like, bro, I've seen stuff now at this point. I don't even bother explaining the miracles that I've experienced because it just sounds crazy. I sound like one of those weirdo fake church people. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, hey, guess what? We're going to talk about it because it's like, it is crazy. And like, I mean, it does sound crazy, but like, you know what you experienced, and you know what you've seen, and other people do too. But
I have videos of it. I have videos of some of the crazy stuff, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't post them because I think it's very vulnerable, and like a lot of times people are like throwing up and then they get healed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go back to the shadow person in your room, because we actually have a close friend of the show who has seen shadow people in her bedroom, like as a child, and recently, like as she's growing up, frequently seeing these shadow people. She confronted it one time, and this is like kind of sleep paralysis, where she's like paralyzed and she's seeing these things, but she confronted it in one of her episodes, if you want to call it that, and it smiled at her.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So how did you get rid of this thing, and what was like the worst thing, I guess, that it did to you?
Well, first you got, understanding what it is, because a lot of times people see, there's astral projection. You know about astral projection, right?
Right.
And there is what's called sleep paralysis, right? So sleep paralysis is the beginning stages of astral projection. Do you know that? You aware of that?
Okay.
No.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So when you wake up in your body and you cannot look around the room and you're frozen, the problem is you're telling yourself, I am my body, and you're stuck there. Okay. But the thing is, when you wake up in your spirit wakes up. Your eyeballs are not awake. When you're in sleep paralysis, you can look around the room. That is not your eyeballs looking around the room. That's your spirit looking around the room. Your eyes are shut. And I know this because I was in this state multiple times. I dealt with this kind of stuff growing up, but like I was in a state once where I woke up and I was looking around the room and I was in sleep paralysis, and I learned how to throw my arm to get myself out of it all the time. Oh. But I was, I woke up and I could look around the room, and I was like looking at everything in the room, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sleep paralysis. This sucks. Oh my gosh, it's terrifying. Most terrifying experience, honestly. Threw my arm, woke myself up, and one of my eyes was glued shut from like the sleep in my eye. Oh. And so when I threw my arm, I realized I'm like, oh, my eye is like not open. But my eyes were open the whole time. So like when you are in sleep paralysis, you are not looking with your eyeballs. Even though you think you are, you're not. You're looking with your spirit.
Okay.
And so you're looking around the room within your spirit, in the spiritual plane. Okay. And a lot of times we're so tethered to this reality, we tell ourselves that our body is ourselves. Mm-hmm. So people that get into astral projection have convinced themselves that I am not my body. And they're able to actually sit up and get up out of their body and walk around. Now, a lot of times people wake up in this state, and there is demonic forces around all of us. And so a lot of times people get in sleep paralysis, or they get in the astral plane, and immediately they see the shadow figures. Those are demons. Those are demons watching over you, following you around, looking at you, staring at you, monitoring you. Like that, those are demons. And they're always kind of around you. You just don't see them until you wake up in a state where you're in sleep paralysis, where your spirit wakes up and can look around the room. And then you're like, oh, what's that over there in the corner? Well, guess what? That guy's probably your little buddy's been there for a while. Okay. Like you just are now seeing him, but he's there all the time. He's probably influencing your mind all the time. You probably have negative thoughts talking to you that are giving you negative assumptions. You probably have depressing thoughts that pop into your head, or random terrible thoughts that pop in your head all the time. Well, that's a demon talking to you, because you are not your thoughts. Like, just so you know, all you are is a decision maker. Your thoughts are coming from something else. It's either from the Lord or it's from demons. Okay. All you are is the decision maker.
So what about free will? Because like I've been looking at, I've been seeing a pattern about free will and letting spirits in, kind of like the vampire. Like you have to let it in order for it to do something to you. And if you don't, it's kind of like you're naive to it, but it's still there. And maybe that's what the shadow thing's doing. It's like sitting there waiting for you to ask for it to do something. I don't know, but
there's a lot of things that they're doing. I mean, like there's, it depends on, having a demon in your house or in your room is way better than having it inside of you. Oh. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I would say so.
So
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing it in your room is like, whatever. Like, it's like literally like, okay, cool. It's not in you. Because if it was in you, guess what? You'd have cancer. You would start developing some weird kidney disease, or you develop some other kind of sickness in your body. And I know this is true because literally we cast demons out. I pray for people, and I have a whole group of people. We pray, we cast demons out, and the people get sick. They throw up, bro. It's crazy. We'll pray for people. They'll just be like, bleh, like they'll just start throwing up. And I've seen them throw up like black slime things, or like weird like
Stranger
spit
Things
foam, like
stuff like you would literally see in Hollywood, like The Exorcist, The Conjuring, that type of stuff.
Not to that extent. They exaggerate it a whole lot more than what it is. It's usually just like spit foam that comes out. A lot of times it's like really weird, but sometimes they'll throw up and like black stuff will come out of their throw up. It's just weird, gooey, slime looking slugs things. Like, I don't know how to describe some. It's gross. They're
That's
not
literally
alive,
like what Will did in
like
Stranger Things.
They're like balls.
Parasites.
I don't know. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
Well, that's what I was saying.
We'll pray for people.
And like, I think I was listening to one of your shows, and somebody described the demon like a parasite. And parasites are kind of like, things that, I mean, they've been linked to cancer causing attributes, right? You know,
I wonder if parasites, they themselves are like embodiments of demons.
Yeah.
Or if the demon just is able to easily influence these single celled, parasitical, simple organisms and influence them more easily than they can other things. So the demons just inhabit parasites and cause the parasite to do this unnatural thing in your body versus the parasite actually being a demon. I don't know. It's a debatable subject, honestly, for me.
Well, I know for a fact demons inhabit mosquitoes, because those things will suck the blood out of anybody all the time.
Yeah.
So those things are evil.
But it's very possible, very possible. But yeah, they definitely influence things. And like when we pray for people, they get healed, but not like you see in like, oh, brother, I stood out of my wheelchair, brother. Like it ain't like that. It ain't like that silly nonsense churchianity crap. Okay. It's like, in the name of Jesus, this demonic entity that's in you right now, that's affecting her mind or your mind, in the name of Jesus, come out now. You're leaving. And their person will just be like, like their breath leaves them, bro. Like they'll just throw up. They'll just be like, their body will spat, bro. The thing will talk through people, bro. I've talked to Anubis. I've met Anubis. I know him well. Like he shows up quite often. I've talked to him several times. I've literally met Shiva. I've met so many demons and so many entities that claim to be some god of some other realm, bro. I've met these demons. They know who I am. And so like, bro, they're real. They're real entities.
Do you use like holy water and a crucifix?
No,
like they do,
that's stupid. That's stupid.
Garlic, none of that shit.
Yeah, no, that's all
to the heart. No,
that's all stupid. It don't work.
Oh, you guys there?
Oh, demons affecting this right now.
Dang, dude, that was weird. That was crazy.
Demons are mocking me right now. It's hilarious. Get off the computer. Get off in the name of Jesus now. Get off.
Yes,
okay,
what that guy, what he says. I don't know. What did you just say?
Talking to demons. I'm telling them to leave.
Okay.
There's the demons wanting to mess with the thing right now. Get off. Is it still doing weird stuff?
I think it's clearing up a little bit.
It's never done that before. I'm looking behind me now.
Get off now. In the name of Jesus, get off.
Okay. I think it got off. I don't know. Maybe. But it wasn't that funny that we were making fun of the whole thing, right?
These demons, they're ridiculous.
That's crazy, dude. That's weird.
It's still doing it. It's still doing it.
It's still going crazy?
It still is on my end. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I only hear it. I hear it now.
What are you guys hearing? I don't hear anything.
It's echoing my voice back. Same with Bryan's. It's like,
yeah, it's a demon talking. It sounds like a demon voice talking, mocking our voices.
It's very creepy right now. I'm looking behind me. Very. The whole
Sorry,
time.
guys. When we do this kind of stuff, demons will act up, and there will be, you see like weird kind of stuff. I deal with this kind of thing all the time. They like interfere with stuff like technology. They're very much in capable of manipulating technology.
Right. Well, you see that all the time in like ghost hunting shows and stuff. It's like, this battery was full. Now it's drained. You know, that kind of stuff.
It's silly stuff. Right. The thing is, you can't capture a demon on film and video. They do have a way of subtly influencing like manipulating technology, because technology is power and electricity, and they are the L's. They're electricity. It's like they're from that, power reality. Like demons are a form of energy. They are a form of electricity, really. So they can influence things like this.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to say that was pretty weird. We've never had that happen. So, I mean, odd timing for sure. But what was like your first, or like maybe if not your first, like demon exorcism, what was like the craziest one that you've ever dealt with where you're like, I don't even know if I could do this, or I don't know. You tell me.
Oh my God. I've talked a lot about some of these ones, but like, dude, I mean, Anubis, when I cast him out of somebody in England, okay, he possessed a homeless person in front of my house and came and put a statue of a dog-headed king statue, like it was like a king sitting on a throne with a dog head, set it at my front door, and the homeless person then took a dump and pooped and smeared it on my car and then broke one of my windows.
Wow.
Not even joking. like this. Like, I wasn't totally in the like right standing with the Lord. Normally they can't do that to me. They don't usually are able to touch me very easily or touch my stuff because God protects me. But I was like not exactly where I should have been in the moment. But so the demon was able to touch me, which was kind of funny.
I was going to say, well, in defense of the homeless person, I've seen many take dumps all over the place. So I'm just going to say, but whoever you are out there,
it on your car.
That's like, true. That's a little. That's abrasive.
And leave a statue of a dog-headed person on your doorstep. I mean, like, like it was very much a calling card of Anubis. Like he was like trying to be like scare me or whatever. I don't care. I'm like, whatever, stupid. I don't care.
Yeah, we have somebody in the Danielson in the chat says, were they really possessed or just on crack? Yeah. So, but that's a good point. Like drugs,
is addiction part of this?
Yes, 100%.
I was going to say addiction to drugs and alcohol or sex as well. Yep, is tied to that.
That's their doorway in. So like the thing is like addiction is a demon, bro. Like addiction is a demonic. It's a demonic feathering of the doors for an invited space. That's why it's alcohol. It's called alcohol. It means body eating spirit. It's Arabic. Alcohol. Okay. It's called this because when you drink it, it allows the spirits to influence you more easily. So yeah, he was on crack probably, and simultaneously possessed. Like it's not like demons don't possess you all the time. This is a big misconception. It's not like, oh, I'm possessed with a demon and it's demons controlling me. That's not how it works. Like it works because when you drink alcohol, then the demon's sitting on your shoulder most of the time, and then you do something that gives him access, and then he goes in. So like they're around you, but they're not. It's not. They're waiting for you to do the thing that gives them access, and they only get limited access until you get back in control of your body. Well, so it's kind of like a tug of war with them,
right? And it's kind of like, I mean, it's like sitting there waiting and lurking and kind of waiting for an invitation or like some sort of like maybe the drug or the access is the invitation. But do you think that all bad thoughts and bad actions are caused by demons, or do you think that
no? Okay. They're caused by you. You're the one doing them. But the thought is caused by the demon. The thought or the intent. I mean, if you do enough of them, maybe you start to think of the bad ideas as well. But the thought is what's being perpetuated into you by the demon. I mean, it starts somewhere. So, like, if you have bad thoughts or negative thoughts, you've got a demon. Like, if you have negative thoughts popping in your head, you have a demon talking to you.
Gotcha.
Like, they're talking to everybody. Like, and people just don't recognize it. Like, the difference between you and the schizophrenic person is the schizophrenic person recognizes that the voice is not them. So that's about the only difference you got.
Okay.
They say all the time you're fighting demons. Like, there's a reason why there's a saying like that.
Yeah.
People are always saying, I've got demons that I'm fighting and stuff like that.
Right.
And then
even literally, like the Roman gods,
right?
Like the Roman gods, Greek gods, those were all like given after an emotion. Like we have a loving God, we have a God of love or a God of passion, a God of anger, a God of wrath, all that stuff. I don't know.
Emotions are very akin to demons, very much akin to. Like they perpetuate emotion. So it's like, You know, like a lot of times, like when you think of like how Jesus was and how we are supposed to be, like the best perspective I could give you is like a Buddhist monk. Like, you know, like that's a good example of how Jesus was. You know, surprisingly, you know, it's not the image of a Christian, which is, you know, pretty shows how much the Christian view of these things has been manipulated.
Right.
But like the image that Jesus is walking in is when like you would think of a Buddhist monk like not fettered by any kind of emotional pull. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how we're supposed to be. That's how we're supposed to walk. That's how we're supposed to walk in peace and love and unity and like not be bothered by these things. That's the image Jesus has painted for us to behave in. Right. But unfortunately, you know, people give in to demons and these emotions and these swings, and it's like, oh, I'm angry. And it's like, bro, no, you don't even realize you're just being influenced by something demonic. And then you lash out and you do things that are compromising. You're like, I'm really mad at my child right now. I want to yell at them. And you know you're not supposed to, but you do it anyways. And the moment you do the thing you're not supposed to, you have now compromised your moral, ethical line. And now you've opened yourself up to the demon, and the demon now sits inside of you, and the demon starts to take over more control because you've influenced, you've allowed it in.
Right.
You know.
Well, let me ask you about influence and susceptibility. So, like, have you heard of iniquity, like this lineage of handed down trauma and like the affectation, or like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like your DNA is somewhat tainted by trauma and it's passed down through lineage. And then demons or evil spirits, they seek to those individuals because they're more susceptible to being influenced.
Yeah, 100%. And so this is how demons get access to you. Okay, there's like three main ways. All right, pride is the number one. I wouldn't say it's the number one, but it's a big way that demons get access to people. So if people are very prideful, chances are you got a demon. Okay. Unforgiveness, though. Unforgiveness is number one, I would say. So pride's like number three, but they're or in reverse order. Unforgiveness is number one, though, when it comes to like, you know, demons getting access to you. If you have unforgiveness in your heart towards somebody, you got a demon. And in fact, they did a study about some cancer research where they were like studying spontaneous remission of cancer, where cancer just left the people's body, interviewed a bunch of people, and they were like, well, what'd you do? What'd you change? What'd you eat? It was like all over the board. Nothing was the same. Some people didn't eat. Some people like ate only healthy. Some people like, and like the only common consensus they found amongst the people was that they all seemed to say that I came to terms that I was going to die and I forgave everybody. And when they forgave everybody, the cancer left their body. Like, which is just like duh, like it's so obvious. Like this is scientifically connected. Forgiveness heals your body. When you have unforgiveness, there's this gut-wrenching turmoil in your body, in your soul, in your atoms of your cells, and a corruption that invites the demon. The demon shows up and starts giving you the sickness. That's what it's stress.
It's that stress. That's what I say. Stress and cortisol and all that can cause inflammation to the body and sickness and everything. And it's just pills can't help you with that. It's you have to let it go and forgive people. And I find it's very interesting you said that, because when you forgive people, and it's been a few years where I've had to go, I'm letting it go, you know, I feel this, you feel a weight come off your shoulder.
Right.
That's a demon.
You know, like
that is the
I always
demon.
wanted to know why the weight comes off my shoulder.
Yeah.
It's because I just let that shit go. Like I don't need to have that stress anymore. For what?
Well, it's like breaking up with a girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's like at a certain point, like you're just like, I don't care about it anymore. You know, like, yeah, it hurts in the beginning, but I don't know.
A lot of times we get hurt. I'm going to tell you something right now. Like hurt is actually stems from pride, because the reality is like you are hurt because like your feelings aren't just feelings. They're pride. It's a demonic spirit. And like, this is the truth. Like, I think about a dog. Like, you could kick a dog, and then 2 seconds later, be like, "Hey, little puppy," and he'd be like so happy to see you. He wouldn't even care. Okay? You like, why? Because the dog doesn't carry the spirit of pride. You do.
Yeah.
So if someone kicks you and turns around and goes, "Hey, what's up? What's good, friend?" You have this little, this hurt me. You just hurt me. Yeah. That's your pride. That's your pride. That's why you're that way. And that's unforgiveness. That is unforgiveness stemming from pride. Like, how could you hurt me like that.
Right.
The dog doesn't think that way, but you do.
Yeah.
It's because you've been programmed to think of things as pride.
And we're seeing so much of it now because everyone is so divided and hurt. In especially the last 5 years, you can just see it, and it's just like there's a black cloud over everybody right now. We can feel
Seems
it.
like it.
It seems like it, and it's just like why? And it's like because they know that if they can divide us and hurt us, and we don't come together and forgive each other. Okay, I forgive you or whatever. The left, right, whatever. And I'm up. I didn't know if you know this, but I'm up here in Canada, so our shit's just as dumb crazy as well. We have this division as well, like they have across the board, and it's just like I can see it just draining people. But those like just forgive and forget, like I have, especially after our last election, I just like, you voted these guys in again, whatever. I just don't have that weight on me anymore because I just don't allow it to divide me anymore.
Well, it's almost like a sports team. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, they beat us last year. We got to go beat them. And like this rivalry, you know, there's sports and competition that's healthy to a certain extent, you know, where you can shake hands at the end of the game and you're like, you know, like, but if you're literally hating somebody because of what they did to you even 10 years ago in a Super Bowl or something, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yep. And you know, you're right. And like, that is so the thing is, why do they do that though? Like you got to come back to why do they want that divide and conquer mindset? Like, and it's literally because when you divide people hold unforgiveness. And when you have unforgiveness, guess what? You have demons. More demons have more access. They can control your decisions. They can control the little things in your life. There's a big horde, and they work in unison. Demons work in unison against our society. And they're literally controlling things just by building these divisions. They want you to have unforgiveness. So pride and unforgiveness, huge. By the way, people think they're not prideful because you're quiet or you're shy. No, you're just as prideful, if not more, than the people that talk out loud. Did you know that? Think about that, bro. Like, you're prideful because literally you don't want to say something. This is going to piss a lot of people off. Sorry. You don't want to say something because you're afraid that other people are going to judge you. Well, you know what the Bible says? It says cowards go to hell. That's what it says. It says cowards go right to hell along with idolaters and all the other works of wickedness. It says cowards. It's literally written in there. Yeah. So, like, when you're a coward, what you really are is you're prideful.
See, that's what I say that to silent poopers. Okay. When I go into the public bathroom and there's somebody in there and they don't make a peep, I'm going, you're going to hell. You got to be loud. You know, let us know what you're doing in there.
Make some noise.
Yeah.
No, but it's the pride, though. That's really what it is. It's our pride. And our society is governed by pride. There's a level of pride in our society that you think is normal, but it's not normal. You're not supposed to have that.
It's out of hand right now. We see it. You know, we talked about earlier things we can't bring up from 2020 where I'm like, maybe that wasn't a good idea. You know, that pride of, oh, I trust the science. I trust my government. I trust all this. And it's just like you're putting too much on them, you know? It's just, it's interesting because I just was sitting there going like, man, I always try to think what the world could be like if we just weren't this divided on stuff. You know,
well, do you think that there's a group
like children?
Do you think that there's a group that actually can hone the energy of demons and maybe control them and direct them?
Oh, there's definitely a group of people that work with demons. They all wear these funny little hats that you've probably seen, and they have this little conjuring demonic star on their flag. And those people use demons and work with them.
Okay,
they run the heads of the occult. You know, they're above some of that. I mean, that country is just their facade. They're above that country even, really. But you know, that's typically what you see.
Okay.
And so, like, you know, there's so much more, and they work with demons. They even talk about working with demons. They openly tell you. Like Larry, what's that one guy that gave Epstein his house?
Lex Wexner or something like that.
Wexner.
For $1, he gave it to him.
Yeah, that guy, you can watch an interview of him, and he even says, they say, how do you make your decisions? And they go, oh, well, he goes, well, I make all my decisions in what stocks to trade and everything else. I make them via my golem, which is the Jewish term for demon. And it's a demonic entity that gives them information. So he literally admits that his golem gives him understanding, and he goes, I don't make trade. Like, this is how I decide what I'm going to invest in or whatever. Like
Right.
this dude, literally one of the richest people, is making decisions. Like, here's the difference. Like, what do you think is the difference between Wexner, Les Wexner, and somebody that's in a schizophrenic home? Because this man just said he's talking to some invisible demon golem thing that's giving him information. How is that any different than the dudes in the schizophrenic house? What's the difference? Well, I'll tell you right now, the difference is the people in the schizophrenic house hear the voices and they fight them, and they don't want to do what the things are telling them. Mm-hmm. What's that mean about Mr. Wexner?
Yeah.
He's listening to the voices.
He's a yes man.
Committed to listening to the voices.
He's taking direction from them.
And he's doing, what kind of depravity do you think that man is involved in? What kind of wickedness do you think that man is involved and connected in? Why would you think that he is? So the people in the crazy homes are like, they're telling me to do these terrible things. I don't want to do them. And then the same dude's telling you he's hearing voices. What makes you think his voices are telling him good stuff?
Right.
Everyone else's voices are bad when they're hearing it.
And then there has to be like a counteractive or a counter to the demons, right? Because demons aren't the only thing that talk to people. There has to be like either angels or like good spirits, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, but right, like guiding conscious. I don't know. What do you think?
It's not like that. It's not like that. It's demons, and you've got the Holy Spirit already in you. Like, the Holy Spirit's in all of us, and the Holy Spirit is that thing that's inside you that says, "Don't do that thing," and that's you listening. Okay, so the Holy Spirit's already in you. He's already telling you. Like right now, you probably remember the first time you stole something. You probably remember the first time you lied, or the first time you saw porn. I bet you remember one of those things.
I have never done any of those three right now.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Sorry.
So this is the thing. Like, you remember those things. Why? Why do you remember that? Because you already have the Lord in you. God is already in you. You were born with the Lord in you. And like, what happens is over time you get corrupted and your spirit gets dirtied. And that's why Jesus says you need to be born again. Do you know about the telepathy tapes? About the telepathy tapes?
I have not dug into those at all, but please indulge.
So one of the kids in the telepathy tapes, right in the beginning, they says, you don't get these kind of gifts if you lie. Now, these are children that are mentally autistic, and nonverbal autistic children that are legitimately able to read people's minds, like very legit. Like, they show it and prove it, bro. It ain't a joke. Now, they were like interviewing these kids and testing them, and they weren't able to read every person's. One of the kids said, I can only read the minds of people that believe in me. And then the other person said, one of the other kids, they talk on their tablets. They don't talk with words. So they like say these things in their tablets. One of the other kids says, she was able to read everybody's mind in the room, but she couldn't read her dad's mind. And now it makes you wonder, like, well, is her dad, who was a devout Catholic, it makes you wonder, like, was her dad like so corrupt she didn't want to read his mind? Or was he actually protected by the Lord that she wasn't able to read his mind because it was something demonic that was giving her this ability? Either way, she was looking in the spirit and hearing something in the spirit that she was able to influentially read people's minds. Okay. This is very real. Ain't a joke. Okay. And telepathy tapes, fantastic, interesting, very, very interesting to dig into.
Sounds like that.
But here's the crazy part. One of the kids says you don't get these kind of gifts if you lie. Now, these kids have never told a lie in their life because they don't speak. They're nonverbal. They've not sold a single lie, and they can read your thoughts. Why? Because their spirit is so pure, because they've been walking in accordance to their heart, and they've been trying to be good. It's just like children right now. If you have a child and they see something bad, what do your kids go? They go, oh, Daddy, Mommy, look, that's bad. Like, they know that it's bad. Why do they know it's bad? You don't need to teach them that it's bad. You don't need to teach them, bro. They already know that it's bad. Their heart knows. You're born knowing. Why? Because the Holy Spirit is already in you. But what you did is you keep doing those things that you know you're not supposed to, and you've dirtied your spirit. And now guess what? You can't hear in the spirit. You don't see the shadow things. Some of the people that deal with this stuff, a lot of these people that see the things in the spirit, their heart a lot of times is more pure than most people.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
The people that don't see this stuff.
Yeah, I was going
to
to
ask. People that
ask.
don't see these things, yeah.
So like the further that you got into, following Jesus Christ and religion, did you get attacked more?
I mean, probably, yeah. Probably. Like I didn't get attacked at all. I never had, I had saw the shadow thing as a child. And that was it.
Okay.
Well,
because
I was never bothered by it all the way up until the point where I noticed that it was tormenting one of my girlfriends in the situation.
Gotcha.
And then after that, the Lord woke me up in the spirit, and bro, it was like I walked out of the Matrix. And now it's like, bro, I walk by people that have demonic spirits, and I just know. I'll just walk up to them and I'll know what they're dealing with. Like now I just can hear it in the spirit, and I don't even know. Like, and people are just like, how did you know this? Like,
okay,
well, there's a demon talking next to you that I can feel it. Like,
right.
So that's like walking, like, and bro, this became so activated in me, like when I started pursuing God. But
right.
This is not something it's nothing I've ever even remotely.
Right. With a science background, you're not even thinking about this stuff, right?
No, it took me forever to even recognize that it was valid. Like, I thought it was like, at first I was like, yeah, I'm just making this up in my head. Like, I was like, I'm just being creative. It was like, wait a second, this is real? You're actually thinking these things or feeling this stuff? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is getting weirder. like,
right.
And it just kept progressing to the point where now, like, I pray for people and like the Lord will just tell me stuff.
Yeah.
That's because I'm listening in the spirit. When you walk in righteousness, you can hear in the spirit a lot clearer.
Okay.
If he lets you, it's not you that's doing it. So it's not me. It's not like I have this ability. It just so happens that I allow myself to be used by God when God wants to move. And then boom, he'll like tell me stuff and he'll show me things.
Well, the reason why I asked is the follower that I mentioned who saw the shadow people during her sleep paralysis.
Probably has a pretty clear heart.
Well, and as she got more involved in the church, like she got attacked more, or like they showed up more, right? So it's like, and then if she were to say, like, I can't volunteer as much, then they would go away, Yeah.
Yep. And that's normal. It's totally normal because she's walking in righteousness, but she's not understanding the walking in authority because the church doesn't teach you how to cast out demons. The church don't even believe in demons. The church doesn't teach you how to have authority in the spirit. Like the church doesn't teach you the church people deal with some demon interfering on their thing. They're going to be like, oh, plug, let's reset it, brother.
Right.
No, I'm like, demon, get off.
What about
I know what
Catholic?
You are. Get off.
Yeah, right. What about Catholic exorcists? Are those BS or what do you think?
Those are pretend. Those are pretend. That's my opinion. A lot of them are pretend.
Well, what do you think about
all of them?
What do you think about the
We'll say some of them maybe have some legitimacy, but most are just cosplayers.
What about the Catholic Church just in general? Like the Pope influence?
You want me to ask you want me to say all the bad stuff? Huh?
All the bad stuff, man.
I mean, bro, what do you think about the Catholic Church?
We already know.
We already know. I mean, corrupt.
okay, good.
We
corrupt
know.
Beyond belief.
It's not. We're always saying we're not condemning the religion. It's just it's the way it's run. It's just like what all the popes and bishops have done to children and everything. And it's just like,
what do the popes wear? Don't they wear those funny little hats too? Oh yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
I wonder who owns them.
It's so. But what I like to ask the question is, how does MK Ultra tie into all this? Because
love this subject.
Yeah,
this is MK Ultra, bro.
Yeah,
MK Ultra is demonic control.
Right.
It's not mind control. It's demon control.
Right.
Okay. That is what MK Ultra is completely about.
Right.
And by the way, CIA and that country where the people wear the little funny hats happen to be created within the same year of each other. They just
within 12 months of each other. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Almost like right next to each other. And you're like, that's funny. And they both, the CIA and that other little country that was created, both worked on this project of MK Ultra, and there's ties to both of those things working with MK Ultra, and they perfected MK Ultra. But where do you think they got the information for MK Ultra? Like, it came from the occult. That's why they were practicing a bunch of satanic stuff. And where did they get that information from, the satanic stuff? Oh, the people with the little funny hats were telling them.
Right.
This is how they were working with MK Ultra. This is why there's a bunch of Satanist stuff tethered to MK Ultra.
Yeah.
And the highest order of Satanism answers to that same little place, that same little country. They all wear their little funny hats.
Right.
And that's why you see the hexagram, which is where you get they put a hex on you.
Right.
That's the term. Like, that's why it's on all of the books of witchcraft, all the satanic stuff, bro. All the occult stuff have that hexagram on everything. Mm-hmm. You're like, that's funny. Why is that? I thought that's a Star of David. Yeah. No, it's a demon sigil. It's a demonic sigil. You don't write demons' names like, Belteshazzar. You don't write their names out with letters. You write them in symbols. That's how you write demons' names.
Yeah,
well, and
it's
that
like
goes,
spelling, putting a spell on someone, spelling the way the English language is. Good morning, weekdays, weekends, your weekend, and it's just like when you see it, and I see it now, and this time's honest to God, I say this every week, and so does Greg. Maybe not Greg, but I wish I didn't know as much, because when you pull the veil back a little bit and you realize that it's not written the way we've been told. It's written the way they want to show us and tell us through language, through mathematics, gematria and everything. And it's just like we always say to our people here that watch, saying like, it may not mean anything to us, but to them it means everything. The spells that they cast, the words that they use, the gestures, the numbers. And they get a fat paycheck to go along with it, because you look at it as, hey, these stars are basically it's like an infomercial, right? They'll sell you whatever they can, and that's why we always say they're selling their souls, but they literally are selling their souls, to the sense that they're being controlled demonically. You have to be, with the shit that you do and have no empathy,
Well, and then so Bryan, you already touched on like alcohol, like spirits. That's why they call alcohol a spirit, because it literally imbibes you with this demon or demonic kind of opening. Do you have any other like spelling? Like how is spelling used to curse or like invite demonic kind of possession?
Yeah, there's so much on the subject. And then the last thing I would say first is, and this will plug right into it, the most powerful way to control people, like I talked about pride, and then I talked about unforgiveness. The last most controlled access way that demons get is through trauma. And this is what MK Ultra is about. And then we'll talk about spelling. But trauma is very much like, bro, what do you think influences like the teens that are all depressed to cut themselves? What do you think influences them to do that? Because I will tell you right now, demons smell blood. When you are bleeding, demons can smell it. They know when somebody's bleeding. They smell the blood and they come for it. Okay? Demons can tell when there is a trauma or a wound or a hurt. And demons enter through the blood. They enter in through the wounds.
Can I ask something really quick? I'm not trying to be like weird here, but like menstrual blood. So do demons possess women more? Or?
That's a really good question. I mean, what makes you wonder why they get a little bit, like, girls might get a little bit
like that time of the month?
Irritated. You know what I mean? At that time, you know what I mean?
I'm not trying to say anything, ladies. Okay, so don't come at me.
Yes,
I'm not saying it, but I'm just wondering.
But I will tell you, they can smell blood, and demons will show up. They show up when they smell it, and they will influence things. They'll try to get into people. That's why, like, all the depressed kids are all cutting themselves. They don't know what they're doing. Foolish child, you are evoking spirits. This is the same. Who taught them what a silly idea to like cut yourself? Where did you get that nonsense idea from? You didn't get it from yourself. You got it from a demon speaking in your shoulder saying, cut yourself, wound yourself, give yourself trauma that I may enter. It's the same thing. That's how demons, I mean, even tattoos, bro, to some degree, are demonic bloodletting rituals, and you don't even realize it. Like, let's say your mom dies and you go cut yourself. That's what the pagans did. Your friend would die, they would sacrifice them, and then they would cut themselves, or they would die and they would say, I bleed myself for my friend. I cut myself for them. All the spirits that were in them, I cut myself. You now have access to me.
You know, it's funny you say that.
That's what they did.
Because, like, that's my joke, is because I don't have any tattoos. And people ask, like, why don't you have any tattoos? And I always say, because I want to go to heaven. And I'm kidding, but like it throws them off, and they're like, "What? And I'm like, "I'm just kidding," but like, kind of like I don't really,
Well,
never had.
The thing is, the thing is, bro, the reality is you already have God in you. I already explained this to you. And the Holy Spirit's already in you and told you, don't do that thing. And you listened in the spirit. That's why you're successful at what you're doing. That's why you're in the position you're at too, because you probably oftentimes listen to your spirit, whether you recognize it or not. It's the Holy Spirit in you. Whether you're realizing it or not, you are listening to God who is guiding you in your spirit. And you do that because you follow in accordance to what you think is right and wrong. And you go, okay, well, I think this is not a good thing. I'm going to do this thing instead. Or I think this is good. I'm going to try to do this.
Right.
Like, so your spirit, like maybe you write it off to like, oh, I was too afraid to do that or whatever. But the reality is you knew something wasn't right in your spirit and you didn't do it.
So that'll be my new answer, by the way, when people ask me, like, it just didn't feel right. I just knew something was right. Like something didn't feel right. So.
That's it.
And it doesn't mean that if you got tattoos, you're condemned. Okay. Like, let's just be clear here. Like, it doesn't mean that at all, and it doesn't mean that if you should think of yourself dirty if you got tattoos, but tattoos aren't, it's not typically the best form of, like, it's a demonic evocation, whether you realize it or not. It's trauma. You're giving yourself a mild trauma to mark yourself with a memory of some kind. And like, who cares? Like, who cares what that memory is? Like, like it's irrelevant. Like, it's like you want to mark yourself for this purpose, but you're really just marking yourself to tell other people that you are something that you want to become. Like, that's why you do it.
Okay.
So, but it evokes spirits, bro. It evokes spirits. I mean, there's people that have gotten tattoos and all of a sudden they've taken on new personalities. You ever noticed that before? You ever seen that one? But it happens if you haven't. Like, there's people that get a tattoo and all of a sudden they'll have like a different personality. And you're like
I'm a badass or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They think they're like, yeah, I'm so cool now. Like, it's like they've taken on this. You took on a spirit. You took on an entity when you did that. You don't even realize it.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. And so, like, same thing, cutting, like, demons love trauma. They enter you through trauma. It doesn't matter what the trauma is. Like, and trauma is relative, guys. Like, you could have gotten, humiliated at school in front of a teacher, and that's trauma enough for some spirit to get access to you. Or you could have, like, crashed your bicycle and created some trauma, and all of a sudden the demon got access to you.
Right.
Again, the trauma is relative. It's irrelevant. The demon has access via the trauma. And this is what MK Ultra is about. Trauma-based mind control. What it does is when you have trauma, your mind, in an efforts to protect itself, will say that they experience the trauma. Let's say you get molested by some relative in your family. You're like, what are they doing this to me? How is this happening to me? I can't believe this is happening to me. And then your brain goes into a state of hypnosis and it shuts down because it's an electrical circuit, and your brain in the electrical circuit goes zip, and you shut down. The trauma happens to you, and then your mind sees it, witnesses it, stores it in a folder and says, we will never touch that folder and we will forget that this trauma happened to us. And you have an empty void space folder now. And now that empty void space folder is where the demons come and live. They go into the folder, the empty space of your mind, and that's where they reside. And guess what? Anything that brings you close to that folder, your brain goes, shut down. And then the demon goes, hi, I'm here now. And this is what you see people like Kanye West having multiple personalities. It ain't multiple personalities. He's got trauma holes in his brain where the demons have now gotten so much control that he's like gets close to that trauma and all of a sudden shuts down and then back awake, but it ain't Kanye in control. That Kanye, he's gone. Okay. And then they do this over and over to a point where you have so many trauma holes where everything's a trauma hole. Like, you look over there and you see somebody that looks like somebody, trauma. You look over here and you experience the trauma, and it just keeps you in the state where you're shut down. And then the entities start to take more control. The character that you pretend to become starts to take more control. This is why they want you to practice acting and all this acting nonsense stuff, because when you're in acting, guess what? You're practicing the act of allowing an entity to take control of you, and you don't even realize it. Okay. And so, like, this is literally how this works. And it sounds so, I mean, it seems almost like when you recognize this, you're like, that's totally what it is. Like, that's exactly what it is. And it makes perfect sense, but it's so hidden that you don't realize it. And
well,
so
I think more people are seeing it now because we're always in fear. Like, everything on TV and Instagram is fear.
That's trauma.
So we're traumatized.
Right. And COVID, I mean,
every day. And
right?
That's why I feel like when you said how the trauma just gets put away in a folder, and then you wonder why so many people go to therapists who are trying to open up that folder and saying, why did you put this away for so many years? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we're trauma based every day. Like the news, the news is basically trauma. That's all it is. Nothing's ever good on there. Very rarely are you see anything good. Someone saving a dolphin, you feel good. Good luck finding that when you're scrolling, because you won't find that.
Opening the trauma folder doesn't heal you. Okay. Like it doesn't work. You need the Lord Jesus to heal you. You need forgiveness to heal you. You need to relinquish pride to heal you. You need to let these things go, because looking in that folder ain't going to heal you. It's just going to grow the trauma space a lot of times, or it's going to vindicate your trauma response systems, and it's like, you need Jesus Christ is the only one that can forgive you. And it's the only one that brings that forgiveness into your heart and into your life and into your space. And, I have a friend who's like Hindu, and he was just telling me the other day, he's like super into all the Hinduistic beliefs and systems. And he goes, it's really funny. He had a trouble forgiving his wife. And he was telling me, like, one of the things he did when he couldn't forgive his wife is he actually went to church. And he was just like, he's Hindu, but he was like, I went to church because it helped him actually forgive his wife from the circumstance. And he's like, it's funny because he looked through all the Hindu gods and he was like, I couldn't find a single Hindu god that's sole characteristic was based off of forgiveness or related to forgiveness. And it's because, and he goes, that's the powerhouse of Christianity. He said it's just crazy because it's the only religion, and he studies a lot of religions, but he goes, it's the only one that is, allows for forgiveness. But forgiveness is the key to letting go of demons. It's literally the key. Like, you have to walk in that forgiveness. And it's like, and that trauma, they want us traumatized. They want you. That's why you like see things on the news where they're like promoting like cheating is bad, but yet for some reason all the stuff that, promotes cheating. They don't want you to think. They don't want you, like, the lifestyle and everything. They don't want you to just think that it's okay to cheat. They want you to know that it's bad to cheat, and then they want to influence you to do so, because then you create the dichotomy in your mind where you've now compromised yourself.
Right.
And now you've broken yourself. Does that make sense? Like, they want you to know that it's bad to cuss and do these things, but they want you to do it anyways, because then you are doing the stuff that you are compromising yourself. And when you compromise yourself, that's when the demon has access to you. That's how the demons get in. When you begin to do the thing you're not supposed to do. That's how the demon gets access to you. That's why you'll see them promoting good morals and pretending like good morals are the things that they want, but simultaneously promoting all the other stuff or making it very easily accessible to do the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, why is porn free? You know what I mean?
Say what?
Why is porn free? You have all this abundant porno. Like, it's like, you ever wonder?
But then
like,
they talk about it being bad.
Right. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's blackmail.
It's like
I think they're
apps,
watching
right? Don't get addicted to it. But everybody now is telling you to buy a betting app, and it's just like you're promoting something that destroys people. Same with all the alcohol commercials.
Right.
You're promoting something that really your body can't break down, alcohol, and people have to have it to have a good time or to put that folder that they don't want to come out further back in their head. I got to drink myself to death tonight and stuff like that. So yeah, it's the pattern, of not wanting to deal with stuff, and at the same time when it's on TV 24/7 and you're like, bet now, like every betting app and every dating app and all this and that. And you look at it and you go, man, this is it's all scripted just to keep us always in fear and should I get the betting app? I could bet some money.
And then when you're in fear, you're divided, right? You don't want to come together. You don't want to forgive. You don't want to do anything. So it makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like this is, there's not other solutions out there, but I think, Bryan, what you're offering makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, when you look at like, how they used to think of emotions, and it's actually like an entity taking over your body. Maybe there's something to that, right?
Dude, what is that stupid little Disney Pixar movie they put out where it's like the little emotions are taking over? Bro, every one of those things are demons. and they're like teaching you stuff, and they do it subversively. I mean, this is why they put this stuff in the shows and the things that you watch. Like what do they call the people in the movies you watch again? Oh yeah, the cast. Why?
Casting spells.
Because they are casting the spell on you when you watch it. It's called spelling for a reason. Do you know what else it's called? Grammar. Do you know what grammar comes from? The root word? Grimoire. That's what it comes from. You can type in etymology of grammar, and it says grimoire, mumbo jumbo, spell casting, witchcraft. That's what grimoire is. It's the old books of witchcraft. That's what it comes from. So when you realize, like, wait, spelling and grammar? Oh yeah, and cursive? Why cursive? Where did we get cursive from? Well, cursive is a spell casting language. It's a way of channeling entities. You ever heard of automatic writing? You know what that is? It's a form of demon. It's a practice where people will like channel, zone out, and then they just let their pen scribble on the paper, and then they try to read what the scribbles wrote. Okay. That's what cursive originally is. It's a practice for learning to read demonic influenced writing. This is how a lot of the movies and shows that you've seen. It gives a whole nother meaning to ghostwriter. Okay, ghostwriter. It don't just mean someone that's writing the story for you. A lot of these ghostwriters are channeling spirits to write the movies. Even what's her name? The Harry Potter chick admits to doing automatic writing for some of her stuff.
Right. And she got
was
the
channeling
idea of
an entity.
Yeah, she got the idea of like Harry Potter from Freemasonry.
Oh yeah, well, there's so much more to that story too. There's a lot to that. There's a whole lot to that. But regardless, she even admits that she was being influenced through automatic writing, meaning she was zoning out, channeling, and scribbling on paper, and then looking at her letters and reading what she scribbled out. That's where cursive comes from. Okay, this is grammar, grimoire, spelling, cursive, bro. Why do you think they call it the Grammys? It's called the Grammys because they're telling you what it is. It is witchcraft. They're telling you the Grim Reaper. It's the same root, grim. It means dark and wicked. Grim is the same thing, but people don't understand that. It's called the Brothers Grimm. They're telling you it's from the Brothers Grimoires. The grimoire, which is witchcraft. The fairy tales of witchcraft, demonic influence, demons controlling things. That's what this is all about. And so, that's why it's called these words that we have in our language. And people watch these movies, and you watch them on the screen. The screen comes from the word scrying. Okay, scrying, it means to look into a crystal ball. That's called scrying. Okay, that's why it's called the screen. This is where it comes from. That's why it's called the channel, because you're channeling a spirit giving you a message. That's why it's called remote control, remote viewing. Bro, all of this stuff, the terms are right in front of your face.
Yeah.
But you don't recognize it because you've been brainwashed into thinking. There's a term. It's called being spellbound. Okay, you've heard of the being cast under a spell, right? What's the difference between somebody being under a spell and somebody being spellbound? The difference is when you are under a spell, oh no, I got turned into a frog. I need to become a human again. I'm under a spell. When you're spellbound, that means you got turned into a frog. You don't even remember what you were. That's what spellbound is. That's the term. It means you are under a spell and you don't even see it. That is what everyone is. Through the media, through witchcraft, through the words that they put, through the things that they're telling you, they're putting spells in everything around you, influencing you, and you don't even recognize it, and you become accustomed to it. And then when people tell you the truth, they hear the things that I say, and they're like, well, that guy's crazy. He sounds so crazy. Yeah, I sound crazy to you because you're under a spell, fool. That's why you think I sound crazy. You're spellbound. I can tell you right now, straight up, Hollywood is the wood that witches and wizards craft their wands and staves out of. Right. Hollywood sits right next to this place called Bel-Air. Well, did you know Bel-Air is another name for the devil? It's called Beliar. It's where we get the word liar from. Belhor, Bellador, Baal. This is what Bel-Air, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Who do you think they're talking about? Bro, it's literally, it's all occultic. But people don't know this because they don't read. They don't study things from history. And you don't read these kind of books. And the people that are involved in this kind of stuff do it on purpose. They just did a spell just now. They put out a spell video just now, and I posted it on my story about, did you guys see that video about the children, the back to school video?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What the school shooting?
Yeah, the school shooter back to school video commercial.
Oh my!
I saw that last night, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Like,
and then,
why are you doing it?
I have a moment where I go, you got to be kidding me. And then I had that moment where like, no, this is what they have to do. And I think what you're saying, which makes a lot of sense, is there's so many people in this world that don't think the world is this evil, and they refuse to see it. And when you refuse to see it and just pull back the veil, and we don't have to know as much as we know and what we're talking about here. It's the fact that they just refuse to be like, well, this can't be bad. These are Hollywood stars, our politicians.
No, they're the worst. They're the worst.
They're the worst. And whether that ever comes out with the Epstein stuff or whatever, but that commercial was,
bro,
that was brutal.
Dude, you got to see it. It's on my story, Greg. Like you got to watch it, bro. It will blow. Like you literally, they starts off like, it's back to school. I got these folders that are really good. I got this backpack. It's really good. And it's like subtly gets a little bit deeper. Good thing good thing my mom got me these shoes. And it's like this kid's running and you see the kids in the background running. And then all of a sudden the other one's like, good thing that my mom got me these scissors. And you see them like hiding like from like, these are good if I need to be protected. The other kid's like, these pencils are good too. And it's like, it subtly gets deeper and darker to the point where you realize all these kids are in a school shooting environment and they're like talking commercial selling products for the sake of a school shooting situation. It is so disturbing. But you know what's more disturbing is who made it. Who made that commercial, bro? Because it is professionally done in Hollywood, a very professional commercial. What do you want to bet? Whoever made that commercial, their kids don't go to public school. Right. What do you want to guarantee? They don't go to public school. That's for sure, because they wouldn't be making joking commercials like that if they had children that were going to public school.
Right.
They definitely wouldn't be doing that. So what do you want to bet? Whoever made that commercial has a lot of money. Has a lot of money and has a lot of influence. You want to bet that the person that made that commercial thinks it's hilarious. They probably watch that commercial and laugh at how funny and comical it is to them because they control so much of going on. And what do you want to bet? The people that made that commercial probably wear tiny little hats. Yeah. What do you want to bet?
Yeah.
What do you want to bet?
And it's almost like they're trying to do a predictive programming. Like they're trying to tell you like this karmic retribution. They're trying to avoid the karmic debt or whatever the term is, right? I've heard like Sam Tripoli talk about it on Tinfoil. It's essentially like they have to come out and tell you what they're going to do. So that way we warned you, right? You just didn't listen.
Well, it's not quite the same, but I'll tell you how it works. I call it demonic prophecy because it's not exactly, it's not that they had to tell you. Okay. What it is this is how witchcraft works. Okay. They tell you so that you are desensitized to it and you've already accepted it. So then when it happens, you don't balk back.
Gotcha.
That's why they do that. Yeah. It's called demonic prophecy. It is them prophesying that through the lying visions, they are prophesying what they want to do and what they are going to do or what they plan to do. And they don't have to tell you. They just do it because it desensitizes the masses to it. Yeah. Because then you're like, oh, well, I thought about it like it was in that movie. So, yeah, this totally could be what's going to happen.
And like, they get off from this shit. Like they get off from this shit. That's their high.
Yeah,
that's their high.
Yep, they think it's hilarious that they put this kind of stuff out there, and they are laughing their butts off that everybody's sending their kids to public school. You should never send your children to public school. Get your children out of that stuff. It would be way better that your children stayed at home and never went to public school than it would be brainwashing at, what do they call public school back in the day? Oh, yeah, grammar school. They called it grimoire school, by the way. That's what it used to be called, witchcraft school, if you don't know. And that's why they don't send, the little hat people don't send their children to public school. They don't send their kids to grammar school. They don't send them there because they know what grammar school is for. Grammar school is for witchcraft. They are to program your mind. Program means for witchcraft. Program you to set you up to be witchcraft susceptible individuals. That's what they're doing to you. And they're doing it right in front of your face. Nobody seems to see it. They're so naive. People are so naive to these kind of things because it seems almost impossible that this could be real.
Right.
But it is. And at a certain point, you gotta recognize how many things I'm saying make sense. Like at a certain point, you gotta be like, okay, well, he sounds crazy, but you're making a lot of points. Yeah. This is called being broken of a spell right now. Watching and hearing what I'm telling you, you are being broken from a spell. People listening.
Yeah, and like per your definition of spellbound, it would make sense why people can't see, through the veil of the spell that they're under, right?
Yeah, yeah. They can't even see it. They don't even recognize it. And it's so sad. But the people who control Hollywood that all wear the funny little hats, run all the pedo rings, they seem to be the ones that are in control of all these things. Yeah, because they work with demons. They know what the demons are. They work with the demons. They're very much aware of the demons.
Gotcha.
They're friends with the demons.
And you know this because of the accounts that you've had. You've worked with people that have said, yeah, this is what I used to do, and this is what they talk to. Dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what the people that I've had to pull people out of things that were just like, just crazy stuff that they've had to come out of.
Flex's screen just had balloons fly in front of it.
I don't even know what that is.
What is going on
Does it
here?
think you're doing a thumbs?
What is that?
It thinks you're doing a thumbs up.
I'm just holding my head up. Maybe it's thinking I'm doing this.
No, it's thinking you're doing the thumbs up. So he has a Mac, and like Mac, when you're on Zoom, it automatically, if you do a thumbs up, it will like do a bunch of like, see, like the party thing, the confetti. It's
I'm deep into this, like, and then all of a sudden these fucking balloons. I apologize.
It's all right.
Everybody, these balloons.
Demons distraction. They're just distracting.
Yeah.
Those were my demons lifting from me.
There we go.
Hallelujah. I'm good. Hallelujah.
Well, hey, I think that's the cue. I mean, I think we're going to call it good here, Bryan. But hey, I do want to have you come back because we have to still get into AI. We have to get into technology,
so much.
Transhumanism. I want to get into all of that stuff with like demon and all that, like Palantir. We got to talk about it. So maybe in like a month or two, we can have you back on and then dive deep into that, Dan.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much. And then before we get out of here, where can people find you at?
DemonErasers.com or Demon Erasers on X and YouTube. I have a podcast. We're doing stuff, breaking things down, Ancient Angels, and I have a movie, ancientangels.com.
Yeah.
You can just Demon Erasers on pretty much everything. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I'm pretty big.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I will link it in the show description as well. So everybody go follow Bryan. Bryan, thank you so much for joining us. We will have you back in about a month or two. We'll dive deep into it. Flex, stay safe up there in Canada, man. All right. Until next time, everybody.
Thanks, Bryan.
Thanks for having me, guys.